Guys, long video today, so I need your full attention, but I assure you, you will be rewarded with many hints, tips, and tricks that you don't hear from other streamers. So sit down, shut up, and hold on, because we got lots to cover. Real quick, I want to start off by talking strategy. When playing GM mode, of course, you have opponents that are playing against you, and you get to select them, so why not put it in your favor? A lot of the opponents have special abilities. At the bottom, as you see, his is Instigator, and 2 times per season, he gets to level up all active rivalries. Now, that does not affect us, so that's a perfect opponent. Why not stack the deck in your favor if you're allowed to? Therefore, you will notice all of my opponents, I do not pick them if they have a special ability that goes after opponents. It just doesn't make any sense if you can avoid it, and it'll make your game a lot easier. This and so many more great tips to come. You should probably subscribe now. Alright, as well as choosing your opponent, you have to choose what show they're going to represent. Once again, we're going to do the same thing. SmackDown gives it +6 random superstars on your roster will have their popularity increased by 6 points. So this is a big boost to them. Do I really care if he has that? Not really, because I'm focused on me. Now you look at Raw, and right away this says, select an opponent. Well, that's gone. I'm not going to choose that if I can avoid it. Alright, your next option for show is ECW. Now this one will block all opponents. It's out. I'm not going to choose it. I don't want any opponent attacking me. However, with ECW, you should know that it doesn't have female belts, so you will get extra bonuses when you have a title shot. Now, WCW is my fallback of choice. Why? Because it allows you to extend all contracts by 3 months, and this can be very valuable as you have to depend on contracted wrestlers to give your full-time wrestlers a break throughout the season. As well, you're going to notice a lot of your contracted wrestlers, their contracts seem to come up at exactly the same time. So if the day before contracts are due, you were to just sign a few, and then after that, use the extension of 3 weeks. Then next time your contracts come up, they're on different days, and it makes it more feasible for you to sign everybody and keep your entire team. Another great choice, in my opinion, is NXT 2.0. They have the fresh meat ability, allowing you to spend 50% of the total cost of a superstar that you plan on keeping. Now that could be huge when you, for instance, spend your scout points and bring up 4 or 5 big superstars. Normally you'd only be able to afford one at $100,000 to $180,000. Let's just say that. However, if you have that, you may be able to buy 2 superstars and possibly even a third. Now these will be contracted superstars for 5 weeks, but they are superstars nonetheless, and you could always either try to trade them if you get them at the right time, or sell them or sign them if you can. However, you should know if you sign them, you're going to be signing them at the full amount, not at that 50% cut. And right there, that seems like a good combination to keep him at, so we're going to move on to our next opponent. Now, Sonya Deville could be a good choice because her power-up twice per season, her power cards in the store give her 2 times the amount of cards that you purchase. Now, this can be super powerful, and honestly, every time I pick Sonya Deville, she winds up being one of the top 2 stars. So, only pick her if you really want to bump up your challenge. Next up, we got Stephanie McMahon, and she has a simple bonus that just doubles the amount of money she earned that night, so I tend to pick her. As for what show she gets, I tend to give her SmackDown because her one bonus is a money bonus to her. Her second bonus is a bonus to her characters, so it's not too overwhelming. Next, we have my character of choice, Xavier Woods. I find he is the most powerful character. He is able to reach across to any of the other shows, steal a superstar that is not a title holder, and it can't be in show 1 or 25, and that superstar becomes a member of your show permanently till the end of the season. even if he was a contracted star. Huge bonus, massive bonus, overpowered bonus, and the one I like to have on my side. Now that we know who I'm going to be, we'll do a quick rundown of the other characters. We got Theodore Long. Of course, he attacks us, so I don't usually choose him. Paul Heyman, he's a good opponent. All promos are free, and they double the amount of bonus they get. You got Steven Regal. Once again, he attacks the opposing player, not somebody I'm going to choose. DiBiase is a good fallback because, as you see, all matches are free for that show. That's not a bad bonus to give your opponent. Cactus Jack, select an opponent. Out. Won't pick him. Love Cactus Jack. Sorry, you're gone. Eric Bischoff, he makes a good opponent pick. As you can see, he doubles all show logistic bonuses, and that's just a bonus for himself. Then my final opponent choice is Tyler Breeze, because he doesn't attack us, and we'll give him NXT, and that just gives him a bonus of allowing him to get a huge bonus on title fights for one match. Nothing we need to worry about. Alright, now that we got the players set up, it's time to pick some rules. I like to set the AI difficulty to extreme, along with the game difficulty to extreme. Our opening budget will be boosted to the full $3,500,000 that they allow for, just because we are playing on a more difficult level. Player order, we're going to keep that at default. We're going to leave our shakeups on. That gives us little bonuses after PLEs. Our draft pool, we're going to leave it default for now. Then the auto draft, we'll leave that off. Match unlocks, we're going to switch that to the classic, just because I don't like waiting to unlock matches. With that, let's begin the draft for Season 1. Now, there is a lot of strategy behind there. As you see, there are some rules or stipulations that go along with the draft. The very first thing I like to do, and I suggest you do, is to look through the entire draft pool and take note of how many good and bad superstars at the top of the list you have that you would make your top 2 stars. So, for instance, is there 3 guys within the top, say, 20 that you would, good guys or baby faces that you would make your star? And is there 3 heels that you would make their rival? And once you've got that into your head, then you're gonna say, okay, well, if I only got 2 good guys up there that could possibly be my superstar, but 4 bad guys, I'm going to make sure my very first pick is, of course, going to be that good guy, because there are 3 people picking after me that are trying to accomplish the same thing, going to look for a big star, and right away they are going to pick that guy because they know they have less of a chance of getting a top baby face to run their company. So think about it that way. There is some strategy behind it. Now, I always pick like this. You consider that, first off, that a specialist class pairs well with pretty much everybody. A bruiser class pairs well with a fighter, vice versa. A giant class pairs well with a cruiser, vice versa. So you want to keep that in mind when you're picking your guys as well, because that does help your match bonuses that you'll receive, which give you more money, which help you do better in the game. So it's all stuff you have to take into consideration when you're picking your draft. Don't just pick the coolest guys. You can, don't get me wrong, but don't expect to win that way, because I guarantee you won't. I tried it. I learned the hard way, so learn from my lessons. Alright, so that being said, I'm also taking a look on my first trip down for my top heel, my top baby face, my second heel and baby face, which would be fighting for like the Intercontinental or US Championship. And I'm also taking a look at tag team opportunities. Are there any natural tags that are available to be selected for both the good and the bad, and how many choices are there, and what are the odds that they're still going to be there when I've already chosen my top heel and babyface, my second heel and babyface. Next I'm going to is my tag teams. Has the computer or the AI started selecting from those people or that pool that I was hoping to go into? And have I thought about any fallbacks? It sounds silly, but there's a lot to think about when you draft. Now, myself, because I'm a traditionalist, I think. I have been watching wrestling since I was a baby, basically. Been going to events since I was 5. I prefer the male wrestling. I'm going to be honest, man. I don't really enjoy a lot of the female wrestling. I find the moves to be very fake. There are few female wrestlers that can take a punch like the males can. And when I say that, I understand that I realize they pull back when they punch, but very few women could take a 10% punch and continue on with a match. You know, so everything is just so fake. I've even heard referees yelling at them, "Quick, now roll him up, roll her up, roll her up." Well, the camera's right beside him. Like, you can't give instructions like that. But anyway, you don't do that to males. So I focus on my males. That's just me. Do whatever you want. You may take the same draft technique and put it towards the females. But like I said, stick to this technique. As you pick your top superstar, now I've picked Roman Reigns. He's going to be my top heel in the company. Now, who matches up against him? Well, I'm going to take a look for a fighter first of all. A babyface fighter that I would want at the top of my company. And if I can't find one, I'm going to look for a specialist. Now, that being said, you can't always get that, and you have to just take what's there. But luckily, Cody Rhodes is a specialist, and he is a wonderful babyface. So I'm fairly certain that, yeah, I should go with him. Now, as you go along, you want to consider the fact that, yes, you've been given a budget of $3,500,000, but do you want to spend it all to draft your superstars? Now, what you're going to find is, if you choose to just draft superstars, you're going to wind up with possibly a full card for 2, maybe 3 shows max. And then you are going to be flat out of people to use because of the fact that everybody's injured or they have no stamina. So you got to take this into consideration when you draft, and don't always draft the top guys. Think about the 2 top guys you want, then go down a notch. The 2 second top guys you want that would compete for US or Intercontinental Gold, then the tags. And you're doing this because each of those will go down a step financially in your expenses. Now, once I pick my second champion, or who I want to fight for the second belt,
WCW picks
Damian Priest. I love this guy, so yeah, I'm going to pick Priest. And he's pretty easy to find guys to pair up against, especially with the feud right now he has with Judgment Day. That's perfect. Unfortunately, Finn Balor is also a fighter, so but then again, you can swap him to a brawler and change things up if you want. So I don't know who we're going to match up against Damian Priest here. There are a lot of good guys that could be top dogs. But once again, I'm looking for a bruiser that I know would have a good rivalry with a fighter. Once again, you're also considering the cost and whether or not it's actually somebody you're going to be happy with having as a star. Because you don't want to get bored with the guys you pick, because once you start selling your talent and buying talent, what happens is you've had these stars that you pick right now, they're all permanent for the year. No, this cruiser doesn't necessarily match up with Damian Priest being a fighter, but I haven't used Dragon Lee very much. Actually, this will be the first time I use him. So yeah, we'll give him a shot, and I'll try and work it out with my next selection to get a little bit more cohesiveness with my classes. So, as I was saying, think about the budget. After I pick my top 4 guys and my tag, usually that's when I start thinking about money. First, I'm going to go to the women. I'm going to pick a top star, maybe a heel and a baby face, spend a little bit of money on them. But after that, I'm going to select from the bottom of the draft pool up. After those selections have been made, my top male, heel and babyface, my next 2 stars that are fighting for the second belt, as I'll call it here, Intercontinental or US, my tags, male tags, and my female stars. After that, I'm going to look at this draft list only from the bottom up, and I'm going to try and choose low. We're not worried about how many points they have with the crowd. For instance, Roman Reigns is at 15, Cody's at 15, Damian Priest is at 10, Dragon's at 10. Some guys will be as low as 5. That's not a bad thing. What that means is they're just going to have more to build up as you build those stars, because they're not going to stay at 5. That's their ring experience. It goes higher and higher as you use them. Once again, I've never used Carlito, so it'll be kind of interesting to throw him on the team. I do kind of see how he could get a rivalry going with Finn Balor, and possibly even work a tag team role with him with one of the other Judgment Days. So as you see here, I went bottom up because I want to know what's at the bottom of the scale that I can afford first. I see Dominic's down there. The Creed brothers are down there. I'm taking note. I haven't seen a second Viking Raider. We got JD McDonough. He'd make a good tag team with Carlito. Plus he's a cruiser. That's a division that I only have one of. Dominic, he's a lot less money. And he's a cruiser as well. I know I got to bring a cruiser in, so yeah, let's do the smart choice and take Dominic. And I'm kind of sad to see Braun Breaker there had been chosen. I don't really pay attention as the other team's choosing, but of course you tend to look at the right as they are. So we got a bad tag team, or a heel tag team. Now we're going to start looking for our babyface tags. And of course I'm going to keep an eye out for any special fighters that you just think would be a good addition, or you maybe could move into one of the other spots, maybe a fallback, but try to stay focused, because the more wrestlers you can draft, and this is why I say draft low at low cost, the more wrestlers you can draft means the more full-time wrestlers you're going to have on your team that you don't need to renew contracts for, and that you're able to rotate freely. So think about it. You'll spend $9,000 on picking up a free agent from the draft pool, and then in 5 weeks renew their contract. It's going to go up a few thousand. Then 5 weeks from them, renew their contract. It's going to go up more. And meanwhile, you could have just drafted smarter in the beginning and not had to buy that guy and lose money on his contract that you could be putting towards shows. So, taking a good look at the women now, as you can tell, looking for who I would want, and I've only done this after I have chosen all my males, and that's just me personally, because I know there's still going to be enough females there, enough pool of female wrestlers there, because they only have the 2 weight divisions, right, the champion and the tag, to fight for. And not to mention, you got so many more males than females to choose from, right? And males are going to be the top go-to even for the AI. So, as I was saying, keep a lookout for natural tags.
WCW drafts
I grabbed Jade Cargill, Cargill, and I'm hoping to I'm hoping Bianca's still there next, because she would be a good, there we go. She'd be a good champion or a good tag team person. So it's sort of a twofer, right? So I've kind of saved money because now I don't need to worry about finding a representative for both classes, because Bianca can do them both, because he can hold 2 belts. That being said, now we gotta start thinking about the female baddies that we're gonna bring on board. Now, I really, really like the new Asian wrestlers. I gotta be honest, man. I love their technique. I love their style. The females, they do have an appealing thing, but also Nia Jax. She'd be, yeah. Let's take her. She's a really good champion, right? So, and not to mention she's a top star in the company. But huge bonus, look at where she is on the contract list. Like, she's down at the bottom. We didn't pay a lot for her. That's awesome. Now, unfortunately, because I just got back into wrestling, I don't really know who Nia Jax has ever teamed with. I could Google it, but I just don't have time for that right now. We'll take a look and see what else may be available on the tag front. Not a whole lot out there. There's Katana and Chance. They make a really good team, actually. But I really want Kairi Sane. Have you noticed the animation on Kairi Sane's hair seems so much better than everybody else's? I don't know, maybe it's just me. Take a look at it, though. Now, I do know that Asuka is her main tag partner. But we do have this special ability of being able to steal a superstar, so even though Asuka's chosen, we could still think about taking her in the future, and that could be our tag and our good girl main. So that, right then, that allows us to choose an extra 2, because we've done that with Bianca as well, an extra 2 males to throw in the mix, if you know what I mean. If that's what we choose to do. Now, I think that Kairi Sane is part of Damage Control, so is Dakota Kai, but I might be wrong on that. Once again, I'm not going to bother Googling, and I'm not going to just pick Jai Li together because she's Asian. I'm not going to... the 2 black girls should be together because they're black, right? That's a fucking 1980s headset or what. But I don't see, like, Alba Fire out there to pair with Isla Dawn. I don't see Chelsea Green to pair with Piper Niven. So yeah, I'm going to put Dakota Kai in there and hope that she pairs well with Kairi Sane. I'm fairly certain they're both on Damage Control or were at one time. Alright, so giving it a little bit of thought now. It does become a little bit more difficult once you got your champions, knowing that you want to save money, because it takes practice, because you're looking at all these guys, you're like, oh, they'd be such a good card. But it isn't all about the ranking of their popularity. That doesn't get you, that isn't everything they look at when they judge how good a match was in this game. There are several things they take into consideration. And Katana Chance, what a good choice. I think I'm going to go with her and Kaden Carter. They make a fantastic tag team, one, because they're natural, and 2, I've had them partnered before, and once they got the belts, they were hard to get them to lose them. And what I usually do is I'll play the underdog, so if there's a champion, I'll be the challenger every time. If I'm up against Roman Reigns, I'll be the challenger every time. If I'm up against CM Punk, I'm playing whoever's playing CM Punk, because I don't like his moveset. really that has nothing to do with anything. All right, so as you see, everybody else is pretty much done drafting, and we still got $273,000 to spend. That means we can still pick up at least 1, maybe 2 stars. And then you still have, now the reason why you draft low is you still got to pay for matches after we get out of here. And because we have chosen to go the classical route, some of the matches available are quite costly. And you want to make sure that you can afford to put those matches on, especially if it is a specialty match of one of your superstars, and that'll be highlighted in the match selection coming up. But so I still, I know I gotta pick. No, I got Carter. Okay, got Chance. Who am I gonna spend this money on, or do I take it with me? I should probably get another male, I think. I mean, we already got 15 stars, and that's fantastic. Like, that's still 1 more, I think, right now than everybody else has. And like I said, that's a big bonus for you as the drafter, to have extra guys at your disposal that you're not going to have to pay for to bump up contracts. That's more money spent towards upgrading your arena, upgrading your staff, upgrading blah blah blah. Maybe offering a bit more on a trade later. So there's lots of reasons not to go broke. You don't just want to, okay, I got 350 or 3,500,000, let's spend 299,000, and then, oh wait, I can't put on anything other than normal matches, and oh Jesus, I picked all superstars and all of these are fighters. What the hell? Why can I only get 2 stars with these great fighters? Well, that's why. Those are the things they take into consideration. So when a match is judged, they're looking at, yes, whether or not you got a heel and a babyface. Then they take a look at a few other things. They'll take a look at the different moves that you've used. Now here you see exactly which stars each brand has chosen, and we have chosen 2 more wrestlers than them. In my mind, we've already won. It's not true, but it's a win for us. Alright, now that we got our guys, we're going to take a look and start this. In order to get into the Hall of Fame, there's what you got to do. Basically, you just got to accomplish a whole bunch of little goals. Don't even worry about them. They're going to happen naturally, just playing. Then you got this whole setup, you know. Unless you're talking to you... stars that you've drafted, or say a star that shows up out of the blue to talk to you, it doesn't matter what option you pick. It's not going to change the storyline for anything. However, that isn't true for stars on your team that want to talk to you. Make sure you read what they say, and if you agree to what they say, you're going to increase their confidence or morale, increase their morale. And then if you don't do what they ask, you could decrease it. So you really want to pay attention to that, because once a player's morale gets below a certain point, they're going to start to ask to be let go, or take you behind closed curtains and demand an extra $100,000 from you. It's crazy. So when you start, you're going to get a few different cards to start out with. As you see, power cards that you're going to be able to use on opponents throughout the year. Now, if you look up here, it says Triple H is waiting for you to talk, blah, blah, blah. Just do your show. Don't worry about what Triple H wants, except for the box below where he's giving you something to complete. Now, when you're booking your shows, you want to remember the very opener, the very first show, and your main event are the 2 most important matches on your card. So you either want to have that be a title fight, a special match, or your superstars. The second match on your card is going to be the second least important. But now we're looking at the show logistics. Now, as you see here, you can include the size of the arena, your road crew, your basic effects, your local advertising, so on and so forth. Well, The best one to do, in my opinion, is always the arena. The more people you can pack in to see your show, the more money you can make flat out. Now, that's not to say that there aren't combinations between the four that are going to do just as well. I'm not saying it's wrong to do it any other way. I'm not saying I'm right. This is the way I choose to do it because I love to walk to the ring in the Coliseum, where it's just this big open sky and there's massive Trons everywhere and so many people, and it's beautiful. So that's what I upgrade first. Now, if you look at your superstars, you can see there's lots to look at here. If I was to release my talent, I would get a refund cost, as you see, just below Roman Reigns. Now, in order to assign that talent for the whole year, you'll see that under the contract duration. You go up here to class, it tells you they're a bruiser, or they're a fighter, blah, blah, blah. Now, these classes can change. Below that is role, whether they're a heel, whether they're a babyface. Then you got their morale, as we spoke, promo skills, whether they're good on the mic, popularity, stamina. Stamina you really got to keep track of, because once they get below 40, they get injured. Shows here his personal rivalries. He has none. Then on the far right, you have where he is in his mat experience, and below that you see Hell in a Cell match specialty. Well, that is his first perk. Now, once he gets up to level 30, is it? I think. I don't have my glasses on. Once he completes enough for perk 4, you're going to pick a new special ability for him. So even the big superstars aren't locked, like they haven't been completed. So there's still stuff to do with them, you know? That's cool, because you would think that most games the superstars like Roman Reigns are all completed, all their special moves are unlocked, blah, blah, blah. This at least leaves you something to attain to. And one last thing we're going to take a quick look at is his record just above Roman Reigns' head there. He is currently 0-0, and this record just pertains to the matches he has had since the start of the season. So, for instance, if I trade for another wrestler and he was 5-2 before he came over, he's 5-2 when he gets here. And his record will go up or down depending on the win-losses. Now, when you're looking at your character select screen here, occasionally you will see a blinking star, and that indicates the perks. Then you go over to the talent scout section here. You can see we have 5 talent scouts directly above the highlighted box. That indicates the amount of selections we can make when we're looking for a specific person. For instance, if I have 5 points, I can spend 1 point and choose the gender, make it a male or a female. I could spend another one of those points, bringing me down to 3, and choose the role. Spend another point, choose the class, so on and so forth. You get the thing. When you have 0 points, you can no longer shop for people. You have to wait until next time when you get more scout points. Now, here you can see they always give you, as far as I know, at least 4 people to start, and you can draft 4 people at a time through your talent scout. So I think you can have 8 to 12, maybe more if you have the money, on the screen at a time. I've only ever had 8 myself. So that being said, these guys are garbage. You bring them in to play the role of covering for your tired superstars, or filling the second match, where it's supposed to be a shitty match. Your second of every card is designated as your worst match. Is that funny as that sounds? So those guys will be used for that. And you do want a good mix of the specialist, giant, so on and so forth, because you still want to remember, if these guys come in, you want to take advantage of all the bonuses you can, and that involves whether or not they match up with their opponent. So we should talk about power cards next. So these you do get in basically the store. As you see, I have an inventory of 3, and there are 3 above me. Now, in my opinion, the most important cards you can get are the injury rehab cards, and the spa ones are about third. The second one is it's an ability that basically pre-match physio. That's what it is. If you have a superstar going in with 40 or less health, they're far less likely to sustain an injury, as opposed to if you send them in that match and they even take a hard bump, they could go down for a week, if not 5, and that sucks. So when you can, pick up the injury rehab cards, pick up the pre-match physio cards, and there's also another one to really watch out for. It's homecoming, and that allows you to make a contracted star permanent. It's kind of like my cheat code, which allows me to select a superstar from any of the other affiliates and make it mine permanently. And you got to remember, once you start attacking one of these other guys, they're going to start attacking you back. And you should expect that. That's not to say they're not going to launch the first one, but I have noticed that he who throws the first rock gets pummeled afterwards. Let's put it that way. Now, if you go to the career mode, this shows you how far you've come in your accomplishments. To be honest, I have spent 0 time on this screen other than right now. This is the longest I've ever spent. Get top stopwatch yet? No, now we're at the longest. Okay, now we're at, that's the best thing I could say about this page. Everything's going to happen naturally. Don't worry about it. Unless you're one of those people that need to know what's going on in your life every second of the day, then you'll find time for this. Alright, so let's build a card. If you look here, the very first selection you're going to get is your match rules, 1-on-1, 2-on-2, triple threat, blah blah blah. Now, once you select this option, it's going to give you more options. A 1-on-1 match has all these 3, 6, 9, 12, 15 different matches you could choose from. As you move over to tag team, you will notice the selections decrease in size. And as you move over to the triple threat, they will further decrease in size. And then Fatal 4, they pretty much stay the same after that. But you will notice even between the tag team and triple threat, the match types are very different. So be aware. You're gonna really want to remember once in a while to go back and check your commissioner goals, because completing that simple goal of have at least one steel cage match this week will provide you with a random power card, and those power cards, as you see, can be very expensive and very helpful. So one more strategy I always seem to go with, and seems to be working, and once again, once you see these match ratings after the first match, know that they do increase over time. Don't be turned off, because if they gave you a 4-star match right at the beginning, how much gameplay would you put in? Probably nothing, man, because you're always at the top of your game. So don't go in there thinking just because we got top stars we're gonna do top number shows. You have to get all the ingredients right to get that perfect cookie, if you know what I mean. So underneath these 4 stars, you will notice that at this point still my commissioner goal has not been completed. Why? Because I have not assigned a steel cage match, and that isn't important. The very first thing I do myself, and please do it any way you feel fit, is I schedule my first match, then I go to my main event, I schedule that. I still have just decided who's fighting. I don't know what matches we're going to fight with yet. Or they'll fight in. It's my bad. And then afterwards, I'll go back and take a look at what bonuses I can use. Now, at the bottom here, you see interference. There's 2 types of interference. There's manager interference. They all cost $2,000. Or opponent interference, where you pick another star to come in and beat up on one of the stars. The manager, you pick which star he's going to come in and help. So they're a little bit different in that respect. And even more different is the fact that if you choose manager interference, you're going to be able to participate in that match. However, if you choose to have interference on any other match, it simply simulates that card. You cannot participate. So I highly suggest using this sparingly, only when they tell you to. And when you do it on the second match. Do it on the third match, never on the first or fourth. You want to wrestle those. You want to get as many points as possible. Now, the second match, this is where I tend to throw in my drafted player, not drafted, but my rented players. Because it only makes sense. They're going to have a bad match no matter where I put them. So why not put them where I'm expected to have a bad match? Hopefully that makes sense. Now, once I've got the third person or third match done, you take a look at those other small boxes. Now, those are promo boxes. There you can do a whole host of different things. You can do challenges, one-on-one or tag team. You can do a promo where they come out and, well, they don't come out. And it's really deceiving because you don't actually get to see these promos. It's just a simulated thing where they just, haha, he did this good. Haha, he did this good. And then there's other little bonuses like you can do advertising. And basically all this does is increase stamina or increase and decrease popularity of that superstar. That's all this does. I highly suggest using it when you have the money to boost, as in give stamina to the stars on your team with the least amount of stamina. So if I got a star with 20 stamina as opposed to everybody else with 30, that star with 20 is going to do a promo because he can't wrestle, otherwise he's going to get injured. So now I'm going to go in and look, and you see in the match types where they have little mat and the star. Those people in those matches right now specialize in those match types. So you're going to get a little bit of a bonus if you choose those match types. And that goes into how they rate the match. Now I've assigned a steel cage match. As you can see now, the commissioner goal is met. I'm going to get a power card as long as I finish this match. So these other matches, they're a little bit expensive. They're going to put me over my budget. As you see, I have $77,500 as my budget. My show cost is already sitting at $60,000. So I got $17,500 to play with for promos and such, and to make a match. So they aren't going to get the match they want, but I'm still going to give them a special match. They're getting a tables match because they're in the first position, or the very first match of the card. Opening match. Let's say it however you want, eh? All right, so then you get all these assigned. We're doing these call outs. We're going to make sure that, you're having Roman Reigns call out Cody Rhodes before they fight, because then that just adds a little bit to their bonus. It does. And you don't always need to do that, but if you want to get higher bonuses, these are things you need to think about, because every little bit helps. As I was saying before, doing different moves in a match, that leads to a bonus. Having back and forth, that's another separate bonus. And there's probably 15 or 20 things that they're judging your match on that you have to consider as you're playing. And you don't need to consider all of them, but at least a few of them, so you know you're getting a better than average match. Alright, so we've got all our matches and promos set up. We still have a little bit of money left over, which is the way you want it. You have to then confirm booking your show, and then you will be able to start. Now myself, this is the way I do it. You play it any way you want, like I say, so don't send me hate. Well, you can. I don't give a damn. But anyway, when I'm selecting who I'm going to be in a match, now you can simulate these if you want, but I'm going to tell you, if you simulate them, you're going to get the lowest possible score. Occasionally, you're going to get a really good score, but the odds are very slim. You will find some people online that'll tell you you're going to get the same score if you simulate, if it's a bad, like for instance match 2. If I simulate that or play that, I will get the same score, you're told. But that is not true. I have proven this time and time again. If you play that match and you follow the recipes, the ingredients to the perfect cookie, you're going to get a better match. Now, don't get me wrong. I am not going to be able to turn match number 2 into a 5-star match. But if I score 1 star or 2 stars after playing it, I guarantee you it was going to score half a star or 1 star less had I allowed it to simulate. Now, when I choose my fighters, I always pick the underdog, unless there's a story that I'm trying to push. For me, it's just a challenge thing. As you will see, I've removed all the prompts for reversals. I've removed every little thing they have that holds your hand. So it is a bare bones. Like I got to remember timing. I got to remember when I can do what, so on and so forth. So I have made it as difficult as possible, including. So here you see I'm going to pick random, and this is the way I do it. I'll just hold to the left, and now I'm going to know who I pick when I hit A. I know I'm a Creed brother, but all that matters is I chose it random to me because I couldn't decide who was the underdog there. And that's just me. So we jump into the matches, and I am stoked. Now, watching these entrances isn't necessary, and so at this point I'm going to
tables match.
And when I say they aren't necessary, I want you to know that what I mean by that is you can't do anything during them, like Universe Mode, where you can break in and attack and start the fight early. Their entrance is their entrance, and it is going to be the same thing over and over again throughout your GM mode or Universe Mode, so why bother watching it? It's such a waste of time, to be honest. Them coming to the ring and then a useless shot of the crowd where nobody's interested in anything. It's just to waste time, because you can, it's not while they're loading, because you can fast forward it. So I don't know why they have those stupid clip scenes in there, but you can turn a lot of them off in the options, and I suggest you do it, because as I was saying, Universe Mode, maybe My Rise, I don't know, I haven't played it a lot. That's the only time those are going to take effect. So once I'm done explaining the nuances of GM, of course, I'm going to announce the next match for you guys, because I turn off the announcer, because I find that once again, after a couple matches, it sounds really repetitive, and that kills the game. And even with the just turning the commentary off and just having the crowd sound, at least you can sort of imagine you're in the crowd rather than on television. But I still like to announce some fights, and I'm going to try and announce more fights as we go along, just because I enjoy doing it, being a lifelong wrestling fan. I find it fun, you know, it's part of the experience for me. So I hope to pass that fun and experience on to other people. Now I realize that those people have gone to broadcasting school, have done this, have done that, past experience. I get it. I'm learning. I'll get better, and I hope y'all appreciate that. And if you have any hints, tips, criticisms, as long as you're not just trolling, man, let me know, because I want to get better. So, that being said, that is pretty much all you need to know about GM mode, as far as I can think of. At the end of each season, they're going to show you what rank, or not end of each season, end of each show, they're going to show you where you made your money, where you lost your money, what your show ratings were, all those beautiful statistics that are going to help you get better or waste your time as a fast forward through them. But you don't really need to know it, because technically you know in your head, because I've just told you what you got to do to get better. So them telling you after every match what you need to improve isn't going to help you, because you know the ingredients to the cookie already, right? Now I watch a lot of these videos of how to play GM mode, and that's why I've done this in depth one. because I watch a 10-minute video and they tell me half the stuff. And as somebody who had never played it before, I was really let down, because once I got in it, I felt intimidated because there was a lot more to the game than they had let on. And so what I've done is I've gone deep. I've told you everything you're going to expect and going to have to do to have a good GM mode, not just what a GM mode is. So all this being said, I'll be releasing this first video on Rumble. I will be doing some editing and adding music and doing one on YouTube. Hopefully, I need to do a little bit of research. I'll be able to include the music I have in my videos as well on Rumble that I do on YouTube. But of course, I'm sure there's probably some legalese that I'm going to have to look into. I don't want to get into trouble using somebody's music that was specifically meant for YouTube. Let's put it that way. If there's no attribution, now, in my opinion, if they're offering that music up with no attribution required, and you were able to download that onto your personal stuff and listen to it everywhere like I could with Apple Music, there should be no reason why I can't use it for Rumble and YouTube, but I'll look into it and we'll all know. You know, I absolutely love this game, and I think it's fantastic that they put in a lot of effort to the small details. For instance, Carlito's apple. The fact that he can come out... Now, I've been able to throw it at somebody. I haven't been able to take a bite and spit it at somebody, but I do hear that's possible. Of course, I just haven't done it or seen it yet, so we're going to try. But that makes sense. I'm glad they did that because it adds to the experience. I wish they would do that with more. Oh, here we go. Bang. Ah, yeah. Creed Brothers have got the win in that table match. Love it. So it's fantastic that they took the time to put that in. Now let's take a look at a couple things real quick though. All this Pat McAfee pack crap. I got one guy who I kind of know, the Pat McAfee, and then I got a bunch of guys that I fucking have no clue who they are. And why would I care? I don't want these guys as wrestlers. I don't want to pay to have these guys in my game. Are you kidding me? Would they make great free entries into the draft pool? Absolutely, that would make so much sense. And of course, they have included them into the draft pool, as you've seen, because I chose one of them. But that should have been done from the start. They could have taken all the effort and time and released wrestlers that people wanted to have and play with, you know? And not to mention, if you didn't take the time to do that, maybe you could have spent the time fixing your freaking Hell in a Cell matches. Now, I'm just going to talk briefly on this because I do talk a lot about it in my streams, especially during a Hell in a Cell match, because in the bottom areas of the cage where you have to break out is where it is glitchy as hell. So basically, you're able to grab an opponent in two different areas as long as you're not right in the corner, except for an odd circumstance where he hits the cage and just sort of stays there, and then you can jump on top. But it literally pushes you through this large area of the map where you're not able to interact with anything, and you just sort of glide through. And I say map, but I mean stage. And it happens in both corners. So, you know, the football, the Pat McAfee football, take the time and effort and manpower and money that you use to develop that and put it into the game. This useless, why the hell do we need to throw a football in a fucking wrestling game? Come on, man. Put that effort towards the small things that have to do with wrestling. I don't care if Pat McAfee's a football fucking announcer or analyst or whatever. I don't give a damn. He's not a wrestler, so don't put small things in towards this guy. So I've only watched these two entrances because I want you to see. You see that little twerp in the sweater, you know, that they brought in from the Caffrey pack. Look at how they beef this guy up, you know? Put a wrestler in there with an actual build. Come on. But anyway, we're going to stop complaining because I do love the game. There's just a few things they really need to fix. I don't give a shit about no online play. Everybody complains about it. Yeah, they should have it going. Do I care? Not really. I don't play it. They should definitely have had that fixed a long time ago. 2014, they've had this contract for 10 years. That is a long time. And in that time, I've heard nothing but online issues. Forgive me if I'm wrong on that because I didn't listen the entire time and I wasn't focused on that. But from what I remember, it's never been so great. So why don't you fix that instead of football, okay? Because that has to do with wrestling. So now both of our men have entered the ring and we are about to start the match. The Digital Wizard announcing here today. I want to thank you for joining us on DWW Wrestling, my GM. And the bell has rung. Dragon Lee chooses to just celebrate in his face. But after a super kick like that, I think it was justified. Massive right puts him down to his back. I think his name's Darius, but it doesn't matter. I'm going to call him Darius. He comes up and kicks him right in the back. Beautiful possum strategy by the Dragon, though. Oh, and that drop kick was misplaced. I don't know what happened there. He seemed to have tripped. Darius, he's got him. It's some sort of submission. It's sharpshooter-esque, and Dragon is having to fight through this one. He manages to reverse it. Darius takes Dragon down. His first pin, just a 1 count, if beautiful agility by Dragon into the Hurricanrana. Beautiful move off the ropes. Sends Darius rolling out of the ring to try and gather his thoughts. And Dragon, he's just eating up the crowd right now. Staying warm. What's this? The referee getting in Dragon's way. Oh, and Darius takes advantage of the situation. What a slimy son of a... But a beautiful backbreaker. Tilt-a-whirl backbreaker, my God. Dragon manages to get out of that and chops that leg down and takes him to the ground. You know, there's a huge size discrepancy here between the two gentlemen, but I have always said everybody's the same size when they're on their back. Beautiful 12-6 elbows, and those should be illegal. Oh my God, those do some damage. You can't even do that in the UFC. Two. Oh, just about. Darius manages to kick out. Beautiful summer moonsault. Just standing moonsault right there. Dragon was thinking about going outside. Darius got up a little too quick. Oh, look at that elevated drop kick. Hooks that leg. What's this? Oh my God, a fisherman's backbreaker. You were definitely gonna need some chiropractic work after this match, Dragon. Belly to back suplex takes Darius down. Nice kick to the face. Dragon with a little bit of control here. Puts him in a fisherman suplex himself. Hooks that leg. Here we go. One. No, just a one count. Darius kicks out with vigor. Nice roll, but Dragon, he was ready for that. Oh, and speaking of ready, who had the knees up on that moonsault but Darius? Oh, and he's got to stop that move. I think Darius is caught on, as evident by that beautiful counter. Unfortunately, he couldn't take advantage of it. And Dragon going out to the outside of the mat here. What's gonna... Oh, DDT! DDT! Oh, right on the edge. There is no give there, folks. Oh, that was brutal. How was he even standing? The crowd's going insane, loving it. Dragon looks a little bit confused. He doesn't know how he's still standing. Irish whip into the turnbuckle, follows him with a beautiful drop kick. Dragon going up top. Oh my God, a stomp to the chest. Oh, how is that not 3? How is that not 3? Oh my God. Both men still showing signs of life. Darius, this is shocking because he is taking some brutal, brutal hits. Oh, another reverse knee. I tell you, Dragon, you gotta get a new move. Reverse into the, Irish whip into the turnbuckle. Darius off the ropes. Beautiful right hand. Oh, you can see his eyes go in the back of his head. How did he manage to counter that? Now Darius in trouble into the... No, reversal. Good suplex. He rolls it over. Is he going to go again? Oh my God, a second one. He's rolling. This is a Guerrero threeplex. Oh my God. Hooks that leg. Oh dear. Oh, he barely kicks out. Oh my God, that was close. Dragon almost lost to this rookie. Oh, and how disgruntled. He just kicked him right in the face, and that was just insulting. What's he thinking? He's not going to make this. Beautiful. Oh, he's an eagle. He just flew 3/4 the way across the ring. Oh, and just barely once again. Dragon kicks out at 3. Right before 3. Crawling to those turnbuckles, trying to get a little bit of reprieve. But no, look at this. Chop after punch, chop after punch, chop after punch. And you can hear those throughout the arena. Nice kick takes Darius down, followed by a beautiful clothesline, and that looked like it got him. Holding his neck there briefly, that may have injured him. Nice knee takes Darius down. Follows him in, but he's cautious, turns him around. Oh, and Darius split open on that turnbuckle. But he's not so out that he can't throat chop the Dragon. Oh man, that had to have hurt. Scoops up Dragon, he slithers off his back and takes the man down, chopping out his leg once again. Oh no, oh, big stomp to the stomach here, and we're lucky. It could have been a lot worse. Dragon seems to have found some life, but Darius with that beautiful elbow to take that life right out of him. Look at that move. Belly to back, fisherman suplex like I've never seen before. Darius does not think he's gonna make a jump from... Oh, you got the better sense there. I know he flew like a bird last time, but I don't think he was ever making that one. He chooses the right turnbuckle now. What's he gonna do? Huge frog splash, and this could be it. Oh my god, Dragon has just lost to Darius Butler. What an upset. What just happened here? And Dragon rolls out in disgrace. Darius, he was split open. We didn't expect this. He took a lot of punishment during that fight, and Dragon looked really good. But it just goes to show you folks, in a fight, it's a single punch that could win it all. Alright, so strictly because of the length of this video already at 1 hour and 5 minutes, we are just going to show that single match, and I have simulated the rest. However, you will see the results in part 2, where we continue on with this, and there will be far less explanation and far more fun. Thank you so much for joining me. I am the Digital Wizard. You are watching DWW Wrestling.